Okay. I think my most embarrassing moment this year was when I realized that I kind of pushed my limits too far. Before I assumed that, or I used to always go when I'm sick, even when I'm sick, like saying, I was always taught that no matter what you do, you keep doing it anyways. Whenever I get sick, if it's like a cold, unless I'm throwing up or bleeding, you always show up to practice. You always try your hardest. That day, or this one day, I thought I just had a cold, like sniffles, no fever, nothing. I walk into my voice lesson, and all of a sudden, my music turns completely. Okay. I think my most embarrassing moment this year was when I realized that I kind of pushed my limits too far. Before I assumed that, or I used to always go when I'm sick, even when I'm sick, like saying, I was always taught that no matter what you do, you keep doing it anyways. Whenever I get sick, if it's like a cold, unless I'm throwing up or bleeding, you always show up to practice. You always try your hardest. That day, or this one day, I thought I just had a cold, like sniffles, no fever, nothing. I walk into my voice lesson, and all of a sudden, my music turns completely. Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm a vocal performance major, and I am from the Woodlands, Texas.
Okay. Why the Sets in Music program compared to other schools?
I like the Stetson Music program because I felt like Stetson had a lot to offer. I also like working in a smaller environment, and I thought I'd get more one-on-one time. And I just fell in love with the program after hearing about it.
Awesome. Should we
do whatever I wanted? It's my passion, and I love it so much that I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I get to express myself through music. God. I knew I wanted to be a singer when I was very little. When I was 2 years old, my grandpa would sing to me, and then I would repeat it back. And ever since then, I've had a passion for singing. And then after all that, I would go and I would also sing whatever my parents had on the radio, or if they were listening to an opera singer, I'd go imitate that too. And eventually, I just grew to love it even more. And then I went into voice lessons when I was 6, and kept going from there. And then after that, I went and started competing in 4th grade, and I loved it. And that's when I just knew that's what I wanted to follow. And then my parents, they tried to get me to do other stuff, and then I just wasn't receptive to it. I played soccer, I did swimming, basically every sport you can possibly imagine. But then I just thought all I wanted to do was sing. I'd rather do singing over doing my homework. And then I finally convinced my parents after 18 years that's what I want to do.
awkward experiences that taught you something, or being a freshman, or just anything you walked into the wrong music practice, or
The funniest thing that's happened to me when I was singing is when you're singing, normally in the past I would always push myself. I always feel go to rehearsal no matter what, even if you're sick, unless you're throwing up or you're dying, you don't show up to rehearsal. I also realized that can also be very taxing and very bad for the voice. I think the most embarrassing thing that happened to me was I thought I had a cold, and I went to my
Cut it short because you're repeating. My name is Jacob Phillips. I'm a sophomore violin performance major from Vero Beach, Florida. Stetson's program is very conservatory-like, whereas other schools you have a lot of graduate assistants teaching you. Stetson has a lot of private instruction, one-on-one time, and it's taught very much like a conservatory. It's very well maintained. My favorite part of the program would probably have to be their real commitment to making you get better and to be to their standard. While it is a high standard, it's a very good part of what they do.
Let's start with good.
The good things about it being a very inclusive program is while you're very busy and you have a lot of things to do all the time, it really makes you immerse yourself in the music and really tests your ability to maintain that level of pressure, and which is good and bad, it has that pressure on you, so you have to really focus and be able to multitask, and it develops skills that you'll need as a musician all throughout your life. Well, a typical day for me would involve just a lot of classes back to back. I mean, I would have more classes in one day than most people would have all week. For instance, I know on Thursdays, for instance, I had a 9 to 10, a 10 to 11:30, an 11:30 to 12:30, a 1:30 to 2:30, recital hour 2:30 to 3:30, orchestra 4 to 6, and then another orchestra from 7 to 9, which is 7 classes in one day. And then we're expected to have 4 hours of practice on top of that, in addition to whatever homework we have in our classes. So on days like that, you would find yourself just not knowing how to do anything else other than go step by step by step. And it really does hinder your enjoyment of the things that you should be enjoying in college besides academics. I remember one time on this very stage, actually, we had a voice teacher who was singing on a program, and she actually just about fainted. And she was just sitting there about to pass out and freaking out and laying across the stage dramatically like singers like to do. And I kept telling her things to do, and no one was listening to me, so I had to actually get up, go in front of all the orchestra, and actually position her to where she wouldn't faint and get her recovered because they weren't doing it right at all. We actually have a class that you're required to take here called Music as a Profession, where where they go up and they teach you all sorts of things to do with your major, from being a recording studio artist to we actually have a class here that's designed to do just that, and it's called Music as a Profession. And what that class is designed to do is show you anything you can do with your degree, from being a studio artist to teaching in classes with a music education degree, to performing with orchestras, to trying to be a soloist, and there's a vast array of things you can do with being a music major. And a lot of people will try to go on from here to graduate programs, because in music you tend to try to be as highly educated as you possibly can, because the more years of instruction you have, the more likely you are to be up to par to play professionally, to get that job. Some people go on to get their doctorate in performance and to be actual doctors of music, and a lot of things can come out of that. And
don't want to say.
And a lot of people, when they actually start through this, they realize how much pressure being a musician has, and all these. And I mean, a lot of things you can do music without a degree as well. It's just, as I said before, how you have those years of instruction. Some people need less of that to be at the same level that others do. It's all a matter of talent and work, given the time that you have. And a lot of people choose to switch, to say, okay, I've had music, I've had my taste of music, I need to do something else. Or they realize that this is too much for me, or they realize all sorts of reasons that come to the same end, that music is not for me, at least not at Stetson, where it is such a high caliber program. Just one note You did not just videotape it.
No, we just took a selfie.
major, and I'm from the Woodlands, Texas.
Schools?
I chose Stetson's music program because of my passion for music, and I heard about it through when they came to come to my school and talk about the university, and had no idea it was a music school. And then I also took a choir camp with Dr. Raines, who used to work here and was the choir conductor here, and I did a little research, and that's when I realized this is where I want to be.
Other schools?
I chose Stetson's music program because of my passion for music, and I heard about it through when they came to come to my school and talk about the university, and had no idea it was a music school. And then I also took a choir camp with Dr. Raines, who used to work here and was the choir conductor here, and I did a little research, and that's when I realized this is where I want to be.
This program?
So I have my daily classes that I go to, and then I also have voice lessons throughout the week. And then I also have to spend like an hour a day practicing, so like about 8 hours a week practicing outside of like classes and stuff. And then you also have to like study for your other classes as well on top of that. It's very busy, but it's very rewarding because it's something that I absolutely love doing, and I wouldn't like imagine myself doing anything else. So in the end, I think it'll be worth it. There's many like ways I can go like afterwards. Like I can become be able to perform all over the place, or be able to teach at collegiate level, which will be awesome. Okay. The most important thing I learned after coming to Stetson and studying here for a while is my technique, being able to stand properly, just overall etiquette in poise, like how to act, how to just be like responsible, and also my technique and stuff, being able to breathe from your diaphragm more. And also for me, especially putting my sound like more forward instead of back. Like before, I would sing back like oh, instead of like oh. So it's just depends. It's better to do it more forward and stuff. And being able to move my jaw around less when I sing is also key. I've just learned a lot. I first grew to love singing because of my grandpa. I've been singing since I was 2 years old. My grandpa, he would put me to bed, and he would like sing like la 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 la, and then eventually I would like repeat it back, and then eventually I just grew to love it, and that's all I wanted to do was sing. My parents put me in a lot of other activities, like I did swimming, I did ballet, you name it, I basically did it. And then all I wanted to do though at the end of the day was just sing. And even when I became older in high school, all I wanted to do was do choir and compete and grow as a singer, and that's what, and I decided this is what I really want to do and pursue. Oh gosh.